What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's time for episode 23 of Tigers Franchise, and we are just a week after the last episode. Not even a full week. It's June 22nd. I believe the last episode ended on June 16th. I'm actually recording this very shortly after the other one. Usually there's a little bit of break. I think there was actually one time during this sim that I kind of recorded 3 videos in a tight session, but I'm back at it right away because after I recorded episode 22, eating dinner, playing around, going through some sims, kind of looking over things, I said, let's start percolating on a potential trade. Do we really want to do something? And just kind of catching up from last episode, things are going pretty well, even with the 9 and 10 June. It's actually been weird because April was sub 500, May was unbelievable at 19 and 8, and then June so far we're sub 500 at 9 and 10. So maybe we aren't doing amazingly, but things are going pretty well. 40 and 31 overall. Offense looks strong, pitching is amazing, but there are some flaws within the hitting that I feel like maybe we need to address. And I'm talking specifically about the 9th ranked OBP. I think at the end of the last episode it was 11th. So let's look at these OBP rankings because they're pretty tight. They've fluctuated a bit because I only played 6 days and all of a sudden we moved 2 spots. Not that that's a huge jump, but these seem to be pretty tight here. Here we are at 321. Yeah, there's a 320, a 319 behind us, but then a 327 until we make another move. So maybe we only kind of live in this range down here right now until we make a big jump. 6 points for a whole team is kind of a big deal, almost 3 months into the season. So I don't even know that like a hot week would necessarily move us past the White Sox or near the Mariners there. But I want to be better. I want to be better than 321 right now, and that seems to be our biggest flaw. We're 9th in walk, 12th in strikeouts. That's another thing too. Maybe if we weren't striking out as much, I wouldn't have as big of a hang-up. But we're also not getting great batting average. And I imagine a big part of that is the fact that we're 12th in strikeouts. So we don't put the ball in play as much. We're not taking the walks. Yeah, we're 1st in extra base hits. Love that. 4th in homers. Love that. And our pitching is awesome to kind of bridge the gap where the offense might fall short. But I'm thinking about October. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm ever getting too far ahead of myself and thinking that we have a guaranteed playoff spot or anything, but you start to think about, well, what's this team going to look like if you make the playoffs? Can they compete? Do we have flaws? And I do worry about a team that strikes out too much, doesn't walk that much. That's the kind of offense that goes cold in October when you're facing better pitching, and it's an all or nothing type of offense. So OBP has kind of been what I think could be the best avenue for us to make a move. Tough part is who to trade. I think I mentioned it last episode. Again, it was only like an hour ago in real life time for me. That Watanabe might be that guy, which is interesting to say because he has a 60i. So you'd figure, well, why are you getting rid of the guy with the 60i? Well, he has 45 contact and 40 avoid K. And the simple fact is he has a 6% walk rate this year. It was 9 last year. I can live with that, even though it was a sub 300 OBP. And we just haven't seen the guy who was a breakout stud in 2024 in quite some time. And I am worried that if he continues to have a season like this, even though, he's been okay, not killing us, but I do worry that, he's going to opt in and we're going to be on the hook for this 54 mil. And I do think I would, unless he turned it around within 27, 28, and 29, I would finagle it so that he doesn't get the 550 plate appearances to vest the 2030 deal. But either way, that's 3 years, 54 mil that we could be on the hook for. And I worry that we have, a diminishing player here. So even though he does have a 60 OBP, or a 60i that would be able to help the OBP, I'm not so sure it's going to come through. So I think he would probably be the guy to kind of centerpiece. What could we get? So I went around looking. My favorite thing to do, well, first thing, I checked the trade block, which I did on the last episode. You see Jazz is still there, so we're not going to get too much into that because it hasn't gotten any better. There's a filter on right now. Actually, there's multiples. That's why you're only seeing Jazz, but it's not a great list out there, so don't worry about that. Showed that on the last episode. If there's nothing there, I usually then go MLB, reports and info, list all MLB players. And then this is where you can kind of get a look at everybody together with different filters that you might have. And I've got all my filters. Don't forget there's a video on my channel that goes over all these views and all that. Excuse me. That was more a hiccup than a burp, but it was like a kind of combo of the two. But anyway, I then wanted to look and see, okay, who are the big I guys? And you can see there's a big group here at 70 plus, highlighted by Juan Soto, of course, at 95. We're not gonna be able to trade for Soto. I mean, I could put Watanabe on there. And yeah, okay, he already says no trade clause. Get the hell out of here. I don't want to go to Detroit. Okay, screw you, Juan. We didn't want you anyway. I knew we weren't gonna be able to get him. Even if he wanted to come to us, I think it would be too expensive to get him. So fine. So there were some other guys I looked at. Let me take off the minor leaguers real quick. Who else was I looking at? I had to at least look at Adley. I know we got him in my Arizona sim. Or no, in Vancouver. We have him in Vancouver right now, which I need to get back on. I haven't streamed Vancouver Cougars in quite some time. But, I would go for him if we could get him. He's not overpowered in this sim, but he was pretty pricey. They weren't all that interested in moving him. Not even a player to complete the deal, or maybe it was Torque. Yeah, no, you can't even get anybody. What if we gave him Elpidio? No, that doesn't even get us to a make this work now. So Adley's out of the question, and I looked at a few other guys. I don't need to show them all to y'all. Y'all believe me that they weren't coming through. But then I saw a guy who was pretty high on the list and also an infielder, and I said, well, what about this guy? I don't know who this guy is, but what's up with Dury Carrasco from the Houston Astros? He's a 26-year-old second baseman, not much of a fielder, 50 at second, 40 at short, but 75 high, 60 avoid K, 50, 55, 50 on the contact gap home run, so not stand out there. Honestly, cuts a bit of a Bregman figure. And we love our boy Breggs. Now, he's a bit juiced. But it is that same sort of build where the contact gap and home run don't stand out, but the plate skills are excellent. Again, Bregman's kind of a better version of this, but he's also older, more expensive. So I looked at Dury Carrasco here, and I was like, this could be interesting, but he's 26, so he's young, 3 years younger. What's he going to cost, though? This guy could be expensive, even though he's a 50. Well, turns out maybe not so much. We hit the back button here a few times, and I've already got a deal kind of working out. Dury Carrasco, and this is kind of funny. I had to do it for the meme. Gavin Stone, who's been featured prominently a bit here in the sim for different reasons, coming to us for Shosei Watanabe, Kevin Alcantara, outfielder of some acclaim, 60 power, capable fielding on the corner, decent base running profile. There are aspects here that I like out of the 23-year-old, but he's not like some must-keep mega prospect. We were hoping to maybe deliver or develop a little bit more out of him when we picked him up from the Cubs back in the winter of 2024. That hasn't really come to fruition. Now at 23, it still could. He's about to be 24, but even still, it wouldn't be surprising if he still advanced. But with our outfield depth, he is expendable. And then Ty Madden, hook 'em horns. Love that he's a Longhorn and a natural Tiger, already on the Tigers in real life. Makes him a little tougher to deal, but not impossible. I don't have to keep every single Tiger around. He's not fundamental to the real life team right now. And despite being a Longhorn, he's not great. 45, 50. He's outspoken, so he adds that to the mix when he comes up to your team. He's been great in AAA as a starter. Nice depth to have, but again, hardly somebody who's really doing much for us. And solidifies himself as a must keep. So that's what I was looking at. I was like, wow, they like this. This works. Carrasco and Stone for Watanabe, Alcantara, Madden. And I've been agonizing on it, debating on it for a good 30, 40 minutes. I said, you know what, let's just fire back up. Let's just fire back up, get to recording again, and kind of go through this. Now, of course, this is a YouTube video, not a stream, so I can't get instant feedback. But I kind of wanted to take y'all through the process a little bit of, I think this is our deal. I really do. I mean, right now, we don't even have to worry about Carrasco's defense because we don't have to put him at second. We can just put him at DH. Now, usually I like a more powerful bat at DH, but I'll take the guy who's getting on into the 360 clip. Like, you can be a designated hitter to get on base like that. I will take that. And then Stone, don't sleep on him. You know, we've talked about, like I said, he's been featured prominently in this sim because he's been waived by the Dodgers like 50 times. I put him back on their roster. They waived him again. Houston said, okay, well, fine, we'll take this free, excellent pitcher here. And now we would get a chance to get him. And, you know, he's got starter potential. At the very least, I think he could be a high leverage reliever. And so that comes with Carrasco. We get out from under the Watanabe money. Alcantara and Madden aren't, you know, nothing. Kind of a double negative that, you know, that they are useful pieces, but hardly ones that we have to keep. And I think this is our deal here. You know, I've shopped Watanabe. It's not good. It's money, mostly. It's mostly contracts. And one of the main reasons that we want to deal him is to get out from under money. I want to reset the cycle on money. So I certainly don't want to do that. So I'll take a little bit of at least a lesser player by rating, 50 versus Watanabe's 60. So I'll take a little bit of a lesser player to get rid of that money, especially when we're getting Stone thrown in, who I think is being underrated in this deal. I'm not really so sure that he shouldn't be rated a bit higher in this deal because, again, I kind of see him as a starter. So there it is. I really think this is a good move for us. If Watanabe turns it around, gets back on track with Houston and pops off, I'll tip my cap and accept it. I really will. Like, I try to be patient with him. I didn't trade him in the offseason. Don't give up after a down year. Don't sell low. We are no longer selling low. I think this is maybe not a sell high deal, but a solid sell. I feel comfortable with this. I think Carrasco being 3 years younger with the amazing plate skills, here's hoping that DeMonte and Bullock and who's the bench coach? Oh, A-Rod, duh. Not remembering all of our personnel, but that's probably the one I shouldn't have forgotten. Bullock, A-Rod, and DeMonte, hopefully they like him. And then maybe we can get a little bit more out of the bat. But even if this is all he is, I'm fine with it. So enough jibber jabbering. Let's do it. We're going to rock this deal. Now, we're going to get kicked in the butt by the fans. They're going to be pissed because Watanabe is a fan favorite. At least Gavin Stone is very popular. Carrasco is popular locally. Now, is that local to Houston or is that everywhere he is locally? Wherever he is, that local area, people like him. I don't know. We'll see. Madden's fair. Alcantara is unknown. And like I said, Watanabe's a fan favorite, so he's extremely popular. So we are at 62 fan interest right now. By the way, I'm pissed about the fan interest. Tigers fans are loyal. They're diehards. And if we were doing this well in 2026, and, you know, with what we've already done to this point, getting to the playoffs in 24 and 25, fan interest will be way higher than this 60 garbage. This one pisses me off. You know, I'm usually pretty good about managing the fan interest. I think the Tigers fans are getting short shrift right now. First off, their loyalty is way higher than average. I don't think it should be down here, but whatever. Let's see what it goes to after we click this deal here. It almost crashed, whatever. Probably lost like 4 points or some shit. Let's see. 5 points. Okay, that is a pretty big dip. Damn. So that means like Watanabe on his own probably took it down 6 or 7 points, and then Stone got 1 or 2 points back. Okay, well, that's fan favorite for you, you know? we knew what we were doing when we did it, so it's fine. We do need to make a move. Ooh, this actually coincides with another thing that I was talking about doing. Remember when we were looking at the waiver wire at the end of the last episode, and I saw that guy from KC, and I was like, maybe we need to get another pitcher, and I put him back on their team, blah, blah, blah. But the point there was, it might be time for Jackson Kowar. He might have to get DFA'd. He's out of opties. He's making 1.6 mil. It was a little dicey to even stick with him at that price. I figure we'll give him a shot. He lost some movement this year. Actually, it was just movement that he had gained in January. So I guess compared to last year, wow, this movement just bounces around. So he lost the movement in October, got it back in January, and lost it again in April. So I think by the time from the season end to the season beginning, he was just back to neutral or whatever. But either way, it hasn't been a great season. I think we DFA him, and he might make it through. And if not, then we get that 1.6 mil off the books too. So he gone. Let's get our two noobs. Pop them on the team. We're gonna, you know what? This also double. There's a little twofold move here. One, Kowar's gone, and two, Teodo. I had mentioned maybe getting out of leverage right now because he's been struggling. He had given up some runs during the last sim. And so maybe we move him into a middle relief. I'll do a use more often on him. Like, I'm still interested in him being, you know, featured pretty prominently, but maybe he's just not the stopper. Stone gonna stop. And boom, it'll be Elpidio Perez and Gavin Stone together as our stoppers. Let's get Carrasco in at DH. Let's put Carrasco as the backup second baseman as well. Put Relvis over here at first. And Carrasco. Yeah, Jace Young has better defense. Like, he's not a defensive stud either, but it's better than Carrasco's. So that's fine. We'll check the relationships with Carrasco here in just a second. And we want to see his splits. Okay, he loses 10 contact against lefties, 5 gap, equal home run I, minus 20 avoid K. Okay, so one thing for sure is he's not going to be leading off against lefties. You know what? I think right now he's not even going to start. I'm okay with that. Did we just buy a platoon player for our big Watanabe pickup? Sure, that's fine. Again, I'm not too worried about it. Now he's going to get in a good bit. I'm actually going to let him get some second base burn. And he'll get in every third at DH behind Relvis. Relvis is not going to lead off against lefties. That is definitely not happening. Oh, I also called up Evan Carter. So we have had a little twofold action here to address the OBP, getting Carrasco and calling up Evan Carter. He's only been up for 6 games. He's hit the ground running with a fat 21% walk rate. I mean, he's got a 65 I. Like, that alone got him the call. And he's a good defender, good base runner. It's not an impressive offensive profile beyond the walks. He's not panning out to the level of real life right now. But, I mean, look at the potential that he has. If he can start to tap into that, there's 10 extra contact, 5 homer, 10 I, and 10 avoid K. If he starts to tack on some of that, that's going to be a massive, massive upgrade. But we'll see. I don't know about batting 4th against lefties. Yeah, we'll do that. And then against righties, Carrasco doesn't bat 4th. Let's bat him lower. Like, I love the OBP, and it's super bankable. I kind of like it at the bottom of the lineup. You know, because the top of our order guys are pretty strong. Actually, right as I say that, I think I'm changing my mind. Now we're going to switch him and Jace. We're going to let Carrasco lead off. Yeah. If we're going to platoon the guy, let's at least make sure we're getting lead off at bats against righties. Oh, the bummer with Carter being called up, though, is I'm actually starting him on his weak platoon because I don't really have a place to start him. Now, he is getting in every third behind Mendoza, and as I updated last episode, Mendoza's been amazing. But we're still going to mix in other guys. Like, I'm okay, even when somebody's playing really well, to get another guy in with some consistency. I also had Carter getting into the DH mix. I think we'll keep that, even though it's no longer at the expense of Watanabe. I think I'll switch him with Orelvis, because Orelvis' playing time has just gone up. He's starting against lefties now. He's mixing in at third. I'll give him every third game behind Cruz again. He'll be every fourth game. Orelvis will. And then Carrasco and Carter will split that DH. So our DH should be getting on base a ton now. And then from there, like I said, we ended on the 16th. We dropped 2 of 3 in Arizona, but then sweep 3 at San Francisco. So let's get through the end of the month here and then kind of see where we're at. Obviously, we're not going to assess the trade after like a week, but I mean, we'll look back and see what's going on. We'll see how the first 7 box scores go. Let's at least do that. But it's going to take some time to kind of really see if this deal does a lot for us. Let's mark where we're at first, though. So we have a 321. Actually, I'm going to do all 3. Average, OBP, and slug. And it's June 23rd. So our average is 253. 10th. Our OBP is 321. 9th. And our slug is 446. 3rd. Now that might come down a little bit, because for Watanabe's flaws, which there were many, well, maybe not many, but what he had was prominent. Let's put it that way. Why did I scout Jaden Hill? I have no idea why. I don't even know when I did that. Anyway, go to Watanabe real quick. Despite that, well, no, never mind. I was gonna say, oh wait, no. Double never mind. Reverse never mind. He did have a good slug. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there, thinking about that Jaden Hill guy. I was looking at his OBP there. I was like, no, his OBP sucks. No, I came here to look at his slug. So we might lose some slug because we did trade him. He has 12 homers, a 436 slug, a 203 ISO. So he was still hitting for power. So we might be trading some of that. But if we go to like 5th in slug with, I don't know, I'm just spitballing, like a 438 or something, but then we move up in average and OBP, I think the net could still be a real positive. So let's see how that goes. We'll check in on July 31st on the average OBP and slug, and we'll really get some numbers there to compare. But for now, let's play out these 6 games. We got Texas and Milwaukee coming to visit. Texas is 34-40. They're only 2 games back in the division, but they're 4th in their division. Don't forget the AL West is a dumpster fire this year. The 35-37 Mariners are leading the division. Houston, Oakland, Texas, all in the mix. Hell, the Angels, even at 26-44, which is clearly a dog shit record, they're technically not dead yet, only 8 games back in late June. Like, are they going to make a run? No, of course not. But could they? They could. They're in a better state than you're normally going to be when you're 26-44. Let's just say that. Game 1 against Texas. Here in Detroit. Sorry again about my slow sims. Let's just do all 3 games and then we'll go through the box score. So we lose 6-5 and 10. Game 2, we win 3-0. Give me the rubber match. Come on. Then we got Milwaukee coming to visit. 5-2 loss. Okay, so we lose another series. 6-5 loss in 10. Ashby not strong. We got to Joe Barlow, but it wasn't enough because then Elpidio Perez gives up the run. It was probably the ghost runner. That's why. Or no, we don't do ghost runners. No, I don't play that shit. So what did we give up there? What was unearned? 10th inning. Oh no, we are doing the ghost runner. This might be the first sim since that became a rule that I haven't turned it off. I mean, I'm going to leave it on now. You learn something new every day. I totally forgot that we still had that on. Honestly, I don't really care about it in season. It is fine. I get the value of it. Like, it really is painful when teams play 17, 18 inning games. The effect of that a week, 10 days down the line. Like, I get it. You got more than 26 players. You can call up players from the minors. You can work around it. I understand, like, the counter to it. All I'm saying is the ghost runner doesn't kill me. If you were doing it in the playoffs, of course, I'm throwing myself through a window because that would be the worst shit ever. But that's never been considered. So let's not get mad at things that don't exist and never have been considered to exist. It's not the end of the world. I don't have a huge problem with it, except when it costs us games. So it's bullshit. All right, then we win 3-0. And that was Scoobs just saying, hey, it's win day, get on my back. Torque joined him. You know, our two best players joined forces there. 7 scoreless from Scoobs, 24th homer, and a 15th double from Torque in a nice 2-for-4 effort. And then boom, ball game. But then we lose 5-2. Herder gives up 5, but only 2 were earned. So we blame O'Neal Cruz because that's the only error we had. I don't know. We don't need to point fingers. Torque with another couple hits, by the way. Love to see it. So, okay, well, we lose that series. Milwaukee coming to visit. They are 39-35. They're 9 games back of the Reds. This is actually where we got Evan Carter from. It is interesting that we kind of played both of Evan Carter's teams back-to-back here right as he's called up, because he made it to Milwaukee by way of Houston, or made it to Milwaukee by way of Texas, I should say. Oh, actually, there was the Toronto stop before that. I forgot. Dude, this guy's been all over the place. Yeah, he went from Texas to Toronto along with John Gray in a big deal that returned 4 players. Then from Toronto to Milwaukee along with the Franmil Reyes and a 4th-round pick for Ethan Small. That's a nice trade. That's a solid pitcher there. And then we picked him up. Whoops. Hang on. God. Oh, my God. Pissing me off. Sorry. And then we picked him up from Nate Pearson and Dylan Smith. We kind of bought a little low on him because he really wasn't panning out to a high. I mean, he's 23, so I shouldn't even say it wasn't panning out as if it was a do or die situation. But like, again, Evan Carter is not like present day real life Evan Carter where the sky's the limit, everyone's super gassed up on him. He's more of like, okay, he takes a bunch of walks, but does he really do anything else besides play some defense? Well, we're hoping yes. But we gave Nate Pearson an expendable arm, you know, a legit reliever. But we can find the next Nate Pearson. And he is having a nice season as a swingman for them. He has 10 starts and 21 relief appearances, 3.82 ERA, 105 whip. That's great. And, you know, I'm not surprised. I figured he could continue to do well. It's just that relievers are findable. And then Dylan Smith is just cooked. He's out for 13 months. Oh, was there a setback? Because we traded him hurt, but now it's 13 months. Oh, my God. I mean, he's done. He's done. So he suffered a setback in April 18th. Gonna miss another 3 months. Suffered a setback from the setback, requires another surgery, out another 14 to 15. This is the kind of shit that ruins careers. He's only 26, so maybe not. We wish the best for him, but that's really tough. And we've seen that shit happening in real life. So that's a bummer. Anyway, Milwaukee. We're gonna be facing Woodruff. Is that Trevor Rogers? It is. And Logan Henderson. Woodruff's going to face Job. Rogers is going to face Enriquez. And Henderson's going to face Ashby. Woodruff's their best player. He's straight 60s down the board with 55 stamina, I should say. He's having a great season. He's a great pitcher. Love him. He's hurt in real life, unfortunately. One of my favorite pitchers. Jefferson Caro, the catcher, is their second best player, having a monster season. He's excellent. Tim Anderson is their third best player. I think it's more an indictment of the Brewers than it is a positive about Anderson. Like, he's fine. He's not as bad as he is in real life right now, coming off a 3-win season and just 501 plate appearances, and already has a 1.5 this year. But I think you'd still like him to be closer to like your 6th, 7th, 8th best player, given this profile. But anyway, it's working for him. Garrett Mitchell, 4th best player. He's awesome. Great outfielder, solid hitter, 27 years old, coming off a 4.5 win season. Already has two wins this year. And then Cam Robinson. This guy's a stud. I think we have him with Vancouver. We have him with one of my sims this year because he panned out to be awesome. In fact, he got the extra stamp in Vancouver. So he's a total stopper beast. All right, let's see what we can do against them. Game 1. Ooh, little Friday afternoon game. Okay, that's weird. That would never happen. Why would he play at 12:05 Friday? Hey, you know what? I shouldn't say never. It's 2026. Maybe the world has changed, and now baseball does Friday afternoon games that aren't the Cubs. Because right now, unless it's like a random makeup, the only Friday afternoon game that you're really going to see outside of maybe opening week when you could have a home opener is a Cubs game. We win 6-2. And then Saturday afternoon at 12, we win 4-1, and then can we get the sweep? Give me the Sunday sweep. Come on now, what do you say one time? By the way, I'm living dangerously. I have it on saving every month. So if it crashes, we're going to lose some shit. And now that I've said that, I have to save because it's the kiss of death. And we do lose 1-0, by the way, to drop the series. Let's take a look at these 3 box scores. Then we'll do the Minnesota episode. We'll do the whole Minnesota series, and then we'll cut it there. It'll be a little bit of a shorter ep, but I really wanted to get into that Watanabe deal, and I didn't want to. I didn't want that to just be the front end of like a standard hour and a half episode. I really wanted to like show you guys my process of how, not long after the last episode, I was right back into this, thinking it's time to make a move. All right, so the 6-2 win. Ooh, we beat B. Woody. Now, he threw a baseline quality start, 6 innings, 3 runs with 9 punchies. Not bad. But then Xavier Marte came in and got knocked around. A rookie pitcher up from Double-A. Solid skills, but a number 100 prospect just had a tough outing there. So we got to him. Jackson Jobe was excellent. He and Woodruff went toe-to-toe. And then we got to the bullpen. Parker Meadows hit his 6th. It was off of Marte. Then we won 4-1, and that was Enriquez pitching brilliantly. Ooh, and 3 very strong innings from Moreon. The complete game lost, the 8-inning complete game lost from Trevor Rogers. Not bad. 8 innings, 4 runs. That's, kept your team in the game the whole time. The offense just wasn't there. And then we lose 1-0 on the Sunday getaway day. Aaron Ashby was great against his former team. Oh, Nate Pearson. Okay, Nate Pearson only opened. Okay, so that's where his starts come from. So he hasn't actually. Okay, you know what? I should have picked that up when I saw 36 innings. When it was 10 starts and 30 relief appearances. That didn't really check out, but I didn't compute that. So, okay, so he's an opener. But I do like that Ashby, even though they weren't traded for each other, I like that Pearson and Ashby, a former Tiger versus a former Brewer, go toe-to-toe there. So he opened with a clean first, turned it over to Logan Henderson, who dropped 6 scoreless. Marte bounces back with a perfect inning, and Cam Robinson closes it out with a perfect inning of his own. Meanwhile, Olsen, Stone, Perez, and Teodo were great after Ashby, and Ashby was great himself. It's a 1-0 loss. What can you say? You can't really hate on any pitcher in that situation. All right, let's cap off the month here. Jackson Kowar did make it through waivers. We'll keep him, of course. We'll get our off day, and then we'll head out to Minnesota, and I'll do those 3 games. We'll see if our average OBP and slug have changed, but then we'll really dive into it at the end of the month. But I do want to see after this, after these 10 games, if there's any change, or 9 games, 3 game sets. But here is the June 30th game at Minnesota. Let's take a look at them here in a second. I'll go to the email. I forgot to do that, but now it's saving. Hopefully it's saving a dub. Riley Green suffered day-to-day injury with mild oblique strain, moderate effect, 5 days off. We're going to give him the time off. We're not going to get too silly with that. I'm not going to put him on the IL, but we're just going to ride with a player light. I'm going to give him 6 days off, and we'll keep an eye on things there. All right, let me go back to the emails real quick because we also have a player development report. Minnesota. It is a 3-game set. Scooble Burns we lost that game 4-2, damn it. Then it's going to be Herter against Bailey Ober, and then Jackson Jobe against Nestor Cortez. Correa is their best player, and he's still a 70. Okay, Correa's awesome in this world. That's great. I still like Correa quite a bit. He's who I wanted the Tigers to get, and turns out I wasn't right either. Like, Baez hasn't worked out, but Correa isn't exactly going crazy in Minnesota as his health continues to elude him. But in this universe, it has worked out. He put up a 7-win season in 2023, 5 wins in 2024, only 3 in 2025, but he was hurt. Only played 103 games. And then 2.2 WAR so far this year, pacing for another 5-win season. He's a defensive god with a quality bat, right? Like, it's a nice foundational shortstop. Now, is he worth $31.5 million? I mean, most of the time, yes, actually. You know, again, if you do the loose calculation that 1 win by 2026 is probably about 10 mil, then you can do the easy math, right? He's worth 46 mil this year, 28 mil, 22 mil so far this year. And WAR to dollars, as I always say, is not perfect. But if you want a loose calculation, a general idea, then just on the field he's earning it, let alone what he would bring in with tickets and you know, merch sales and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's working out for them. Burns is their second best guy. Buxton's their third best. Let's see what he's been up to during this sim. Now, he has found some health. I think we did see this when we were facing them down the stretch last year. We did see that he's put up back-to-back healthy seasons. So far this year, he's been healthy. He's not playing super well with a 91 WRC plus, but at least he's playing, right? That's the important part. And then Yohan Duran is their fourth best player. And then Shane McClanahan's fifth. Wow, what a top 5, dude. Correa, Burns, Buxton, Duran, and McClanahan. That's a nice 5. Jaden Brown won a Player of the Week. Not much of a prospect, unfortunately. Who's this guy? Lorenzo Carrier must be a draft guy. Yep. Just get him off that list. And then let's take a look at the player development report here. Gavin Stone's stuff goes up. Oh, before I forget, we'll go back to it in a minute. Relationships with our 2 new guys. So Bullock, how do you feel about Stone and Carrasco? Yes, excellent with Carrasco. Average with Stone. Okay. And then A-Rod. He's average with Carrasco, so he doesn't love him. And then he's good with Stone. Okay. And then Bates will be Stone only. And he's good with him. And then DeMonte will be Carrasco only. And he's excellent. Okay, baby. We got a chance. We got a chance here. Got some good-ass relationships. And we're already paying dividends. Current and potential contact for Carrasco goes up 5. Current and potential I goes up 5. The defense goes down even more, which is a bummer, but he is DHing. So we're not going to get bent out of shape on that. All right, well, he's probably not making too much impact on our OBP because so far through 5 games, 15 plate appearances, literally nothing to go off of. But he has a -8 WRC plus. So, you know what? Even after the Minnesota series, we're not even going to look at the average OBP and slug because it's 9 games. We're just going to stick with the July 31st update. I'm going to hold firm on that. We're not even going to check it. Adames, his speed goes up. Okay, weird. And then a bunch of little knick-knack things throughout the rest of the report. But Carrasco going up and Stone getting some stuff boost immediately after getting them is awesome. Let's get a full new scout on both. Let's just get them both up to, well, Stone's already at very high. I'm still going to rerun it. You know how I am, y'all. Y'all know how I am. All right, so we had that first game against Minnesota. Let's do the last 2, and then we'll do all 3 box scores. And then we'll bounce with like a tight little 45-minute app. Unless I find 20 other things I want to dig into. You guys know how I do. Elpidio Perez, diagnosed with a herniated disc, out for about a week. Okay. Can we afford to run a pitcher and a hitter light? We already run 12 pitchers. So I don't know if we want to go 11. And we have no off days until the break. So, by the way, we won 3-1 and 13-4 after the 4-2 loss. So we took the series, which is awesome. I think I need to put Perez on the IL. I'd rather not, but I think we should. Let's just we could just let him breathe until the break. Excuse me. Now, again, I think I remember this during the September Chase episode that we did. I thought the IL, when did it go back to 15? When did I miss that? Oh, the pitcher's 15, the batter's 10. Okay. That's fine. I'm not going to change that. Okay. Well, it is a bummer to do it, but we need an extra body. And, I mean, Perez has been having an amazing season. I don't want this to end up, where we try to work it with 11 guys, again, with no off days. He has a setback, and he ends up having to go on the IL anyway. Maybe we, if it costs us a few games by running light. So let's just cut to the chase, put him on the IL. We'll pick him back after the All-Star break. And that's probably what a real team would do anyway. A guy gets hurt close to the break like this, and it's going to be like a 7 to 10 day injury. Just put him on the 15. We'll catch up with you on July 17th. Oh, my dad's birthday. All right, so let's get an arm from the minors. Who did I say in the last episode would be the first guy out? It was Joel Baez. I remembered. But I might be made a liar out of that because we have 5 guys on the 40 that might be better fits. And, wow, I do like this. I sort by strikeout minus walk rate, and the top 4 are all on the 40. That's nice. So our main depth is doing well in AAA too. So CD-ROM is down to a 20 grade, which is tough. I get it, 40 control, 45 movement. It hasn't stopped him from succeeding at AAA, but I don't think we're going to go his way. I am going to get a fresh scout on him, though. DaCosta, he's almost straight 55s down the board, but he has 50 stuff with 55 potential, so it's close. But he's been pitching brilliantly. He's a lefty. And Alpidio's a lefty too, so he and Rom, DaCosta and Rom do have a little bit of a leg up because we only have Motion as a lefty in the bullpen, so we should probably replace him with a lefty. But let's see the other guys here. Dana Mosqueda, he's pitching very well. He's also a lefty, so not only is it our best 3 guys by strikeout minus walk, they're all on the 40, but they're all lefties too. So it's screaming out that it's one of these guys. And I don't think it's going to be Rom because his ratings just aren't there. So then it comes down to DaCosta versus Mosqueda. I don't think Mosqueda still has to be on our top prospects list at this point. So let's just look at their splits and everything. Interestingly, DaCosta has a reverse split. He's 5 better stuff and movement against righties. That's kind of interesting. He has 40 stamina, which is a nice little treat. But Mosqueda's at 35, so he's not that far off. And he has a standard split where he's 5 stuff and movement and control better against lefties. Don't agonize over this, Paul. It's not that big of a move. Let's just go... Let's go Mosqueda. Actually, you know what? No, Mosqueda's running a 142 whip here in the minors. That makes me a little nervous. You know what? It's DaCosta. Boom. All right, Franklin DaCosta coming on up. I say boom like it's some big, huge move. It's whatever. It's a replacement for 2 weeks. We are going to promote Motion to the stoppers role. And he'll join forces with Gavin Stone. And DaCosta can get some setup work along with middle relief. Okay, so that brings us... Oh, wait, we want to check those Minnesota box scores. Let's finish this day, get to the Pittsburgh series there in Pittsburgh. Okay, take longer. Oh, it's the middle of the season, so we got the summer goal. We can review the goals too. I'll include that with the end of this. So it's going to go beyond 45 minutes. That was close. It's still going to be under an hour. Hold me to that. Which means I have 15 minutes left. 15 minutes and 10 seconds to get through these box scores, the reviewing of the goals, and the scouting reports that just came in. All right, so the first game was a 4-2 loss. Bernsey beat Scoobel. Scoobel wasn't terrible, but did give up 4 in 6. Parker Meadows hit his 7th. But then in game 2, we went 3-1, and that was Job over Ober. It's so Jober. Job was excellent. 6 innings, 1 run. Ober, 5 innings, 3 runs, 7 Ks. He's okay. It's not a terrible outing. 5 innings, 3 runs. I know it's like, that's not a good ERA, but like, again, you guys know I say this a lot, so I'm sorry I repeat the same points, but at least I repeat the same points as opposed to contradicting myself all the time. But 3 runs in 5 or more innings, you know, even 4 innings, 3 runs, like you kept your team in the game. Even though that's not a great ERA, like with 5 innings, it's a 5.40. With 4 innings, obviously, it's even worse. It's like a 6.75 ERA. But the total number of runs being 3 is like you're in the game. So 5 innings, 3 runs from Ober. It's fine. But we happened to be better that day. And then 13-4, we shellacked them. Oh, we got to them late, too. We dropped 8 in the 8th and 9th combined. So it was Herter against Cortez. Neither was particularly sharp. 5 1/3, 4 runs for Herter. Meh outing. And then 5 runs in 4 2/3 for Cortez. That's just not very good. But then our bullpen shut it down, whereas theirs just fell apart. Howard, Stevenson, and Alcala all gave up multiple runs. Offense just went off. You know the craziest part about this? We only had 2 doubles and a homer. And it was a solo homer. And we still put up 13 runs. That is impressive. But you know what? We had 8 walks, baby. There's that OBP coming through. I love to see it. So we had 12 hits, 8 walks, resulting in 13 runs. It was Evan Carter's first homer. That was the homer we got. Mendoza's 9th double, and Carrasco's first double with us. But that can't be his first of the year. No way. And since he's staying in the American League, why wouldn't it just count? I don't know. It's actually his 14th double of the year. All right. So there we go. That's the Minnesota series. Now, player development report. Only 4 expiring personnel this year, too, after that huge personnel season that we had. I like that we only have 4 to worry about. I'll probably handle these offline, like before the next episode or something, if I remember. Player development report, where is it? Oh, right here. Oh, no, we already looked at that. Sorry. What was I looking at then? Oh, the scouting reports. Gavin Stone got scouted. I mean, we knew he got the stuff, so I figured it was only going to be that. But Carrasco was only high. So now he's very high. And nothing changes. His contact actually dipped. And then the defense went up. Did I say it went down on the player development report? Did it go down and then right back up? It did. This is very confusing. So, he immediately lost the contact gain that he got a month ago. Or last month. Not even a full month. Like moments ago. Whatever. It's fine. Bottom line, he's an OBP god. We're going to give him more than 25 plate appearances to prove himself. He hasn't done anything for us yet, but I still like the move. Drew Rom, he got an updated scouting report. He's 55, 40, 40. That's a little blah. And then, top 100 is out. A fresh one. We still don't have a top 10 prospect. Someday. But what's our system looking like? Start from the bottom. We're 22nd. Shigoya's at 27th. Dorado's 76th, and Gamble's at 80th. Wait, did Gamble actually go up? Okay, he went up 3 spots. I breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief on that, considering he got hammered in May on the scouting. But, yeah, where's Minnesota? Minnesota's only at 17th. Kason actually came down to 31st, from 29 to 31, so that's only 3 spots. Did his scouting change? His eye went up in May, but he hasn't had any updates since then. So we'll keep an eye on that. Of course, they're going to be division rivals. Obviously, it was a huge challenge trade, so we'll watch the progression of both those guys, obviously. All right. Coming in under an hour, baby. So a little bit of a quicker episode. It's still 50 minutes. It's not like it's a breeze, but it's a little bit of a tighter episode in terms of the fact that we only moved like 2 weeks of game time. So draft is coming up, All-Star break, trade deadline. Obviously, July is huge. That'll probably all just be one episode. Again, I still want to hear thoughts on what you guys think about draft episodes. Now, because we're like a week away from the draft right now in game time, I'm just going to do the draft how I do it this season. So even if you like full-on draft episodes, there might not be one for this season, but I'm still interested in your thoughts so that I know going forward if the separate draft episodes are appreciated, or if you want them rolled into a July episode where we do the draft and I just kind of show you guys who we took, and then we do the All-Star break where we check in on the team, and then we do the deadline. Although putting the draft and deadline together really does depend on whether or not we're going to make a bunch of trades. So they won't necessarily be together. But what I really want to know is, do you like separate draft episodes where we just deep dive it and I go through and we watch like the top 10 picks go by the computer, and then we dive into all of our picks? Maybe we don't do all 20 rounds, but I do like, double digit of them by diving in and kind of picking them. So let me know what you think on that. Next episode, we will have the draft done and we will be looking at the deadline. I don't know what we're going to do. We might have just made our big move, but we'll see what's out there. As always, thank y'all so much for watching. Hit that like, hit that subscribe.